time?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome. Turnitin is well known as a solution for plagiarism detection. It is integrated with Blackboard at KFUPM, and instructors have been using it to check student submissions for plagiarism. With the emergence of AI, Turnitin has introduced a new online platform called Turnitin Clarity, which provides an environment for student writing such that instructors have control on the level of access students may have to use AI. And thus it supports the responsible use of AI by the students. Today's session is to demonstrate Turnitin Clarity. And for this, we have with us Jason Gibson. Jason helps Turnitin users to ensure a personal and in-depth experience to maximize the use of Turnitin tools. Thank you, Jason, for joining us, and please begin with your talk.
Fantastic. So thank you very much for having me. It's been great to get to work with so many people across the world recently, and it's very nice to be back working with our clients here. So what I'm going to show you today is how this looks in Blackboard, just so you can get an idea of what this would potentially look like for you, so that it's not too different. The experience that I'm using here is the Ultra experience, which I'm sure many people will be familiar with.
So yeah, Jason, we have not the Ultra experience. We have Blackboard 9.1, which is closer to original experience, just for your information.
Yeah, no problem at all. The actual experience of using it is the same in terms of very similar in terms of the process. The only difference is that it would have to be on the LTI 1.3 integration style, which most people are using on Ultra now, but it is available via the original view as well. So you can use LTI 1.3 in either way. That's absolutely fine. The only difference really is within Ultra, to access it, you have to go through the content market, whereas within the original view, I believe you add it through tools. So it's a slightly different route, but the process is pretty much the same. So once the assignment itself is added to the system, it's very similar to how you would add a Turnitin assignment right now, except for when you get to the stage, you would add what's called a student writing assignment. And within that assignment, I'll open up this one here for you. You will have a view into not just the end product, but also the full writing process. So one of the main reasons why we actually designed Clarity and developed it was that we knew over time people would want to understand the process a student went through as opposed to just understanding the end product. And we started developing Turnitin Clarity a couple of years ago to make sure that we had an evolution of assessment. So not just focusing on detection, but adding in the ability to see where AI writing was used, but also being able to see how it was used and when it was used, which we find is potentially even more important. Now, within this little dashboard that you can see here, it looks very similar to what you already see right now. So you've got the student, the submission date, the grade, and then the similarity score. You can also see the AI writing score in here as well, which if you use the originality add-on, that is available there. And then you have these flags. Now, these flags are different to the flags that you see within Turnitin right now. These are flags in terms of things like, if I click on this one, minimal revision. So we know that the student hasn't really, changed much during the writing process. They've either written it all in one go, or they maybe haven't written very much, so they haven't required much revision. So we've captured that. We also then capture things like pasted text. So if the student has a lot of pasted text throughout their assignment, then we'll know that. And there may also be another flag, which will be something along the lines of shorter writing time than the cohort. So if everybody else in the cohort spent, on average 2 hours writing their assignment and they spent 10 minutes, then it would be flagged to show that it was significantly different, which means that the most likely is that the student has actually copied a lot of their text in there. Now, I'm going to show you what the writing report looks like in a moment, but I feel like it's more important to actually see what does it look like for a student. So what does a student do and how does their work actually get into the system? So for the student, the process is actually really similar. So they'll go in, but instead of actually launching into the assignment to upload a document, they will actually create their document within Clarity. So Just like adding, going into Google Docs and things like that, they're writing online. It's a very similar experience. They can see the instructions for the essay. They can start writing. And when they start writing, what will happen is they will then have the ability to go in here and basically create their essay. So they've got all the usual formatting options here, different fonts, the ability to have headings, body text. They have the ability to do various things like superscript and subscripts, hanging indents, quotes, then block quotes, things like that, and add tables and images. So it's very, very similar to a normal assignment. They can go in there, they can write in here. So I can say, I have to write about this topic. I'm not sure how to get started. Or you know what? I could actually just delete all of that and I could go over here to the AI and I could get that to help me. So we've put in an AI assistant directly into the writing space because we know that institutions want to be able to prepare their students for the future. We know they want students to have access to AI, but you don't just want them to have access to AI where they can get it to do all of their work for them. So if you're a student like I am right now, and I'm like, you know what, I really don't know what to write about, but AI definitely will. So I can just say, write this essay for me. We'll say please as well, just in case. And they will ask it to write it, which is a pretty common thing that we see students getting them to do. They'll, if they want to take it easy, they can just get AI to write their essay, but not in here. So within Clarity, it will actually tell them when they ask it things like that, I can't write the essay for you. That would go against academic integrity and wouldn't actually help you there. So instead, what I can help you with is brainstorming. And also, the assignment clearly states that while AI can help with grammar and structure, all research, analysis, and argumentation must be your own original work. What aspect of the essay would you like help with? So I could then go, you know what? I need you to help me make an outline. Or I could get rid of that one. I could put in a prompt that says brainstorm some ideas. So I don't have any text so far, so I've got nothing in there. It might be able to help me get started though, which is a completely normal use of AI. So here we go. Since you're starting your essay, here are some habitat options and approaches to consider. If you look at the instructions, you can see it's writing about a natural habitat. So I could choose and I could say, okay, I'm going to write about the Arctic. I want to focus on maybe an endangered species and let's say technological solutions for conservation. And then the structure, I could go problem solution format or cause and effect analysis. So I can start to get a bit of an understanding of what it is that I need to write about. Now, normally, if a student doesn't know what they need to write about, they'll do one of two things. They'll either go down the misconduct route because they don't know what they are expecting to do. So they'll maybe cheat because they don't see the value in the assessment, or the instructor will get asked, what do I need to do? And it's 10 p.m. at night, and they don't really want to be replying to emails at that time of night. So they'll wait till the next day, and then the student's already behind. Whereas with this, they can use that AI assistant to start getting an understanding of what they need to do, and then they can write their essay. So that's how the student will access that. And all they have to do is click submit. They can do that as many times as they like. And then when the due date is hit, you as an instructor will then see this. So let's go in. Let's maybe look at this coral reef paper right here. So let's open this up. And if you remember, that had one flag, and that is for minimal revision. So we're opening up this paper. Everybody's probably very familiar with this. This is the writing report, but the feedback and similarity report, whereas this is the writing report. So this is the element that comes with Clarity. So this will do a few things. It will show you the paper in terms of the finished article. You can see we've been flagged for minimal revision. Why is that? They typed out 1,074 words, they pasted 378, they removed 210, and the final word count was 1,230. Some observations, the final word count, we have their total writing time, 4 writing sessions, and the cohort is 1 hour 30. So they're writing the same amount of time as the actual other students. We can see where some of these pasted text findings have come from. So this number 1 section, this came in here, and it is this section right here. We have a few others where we've got matches to other things. We have quite a few of them actually all the way through, so 14 pasted text moments. And if we wanted to, we could also then see how they use the AI chat. So we can see the full chat history if we wanted to, but we've used AI here to create like a bit of a summary. So the student requested an outline, brainstorming systems. They chose coral reefs, developed structured outline with the guidance of the AI. And then we incorporated an AI suggested title and sections into the final draft. And we can see by the themes, they helped with getting started. So what did they do? Can you help me with an outline? We can also see that this student did actually ask to write the entire paper for them. So we can see what they did. So we get a really good understanding of what this student did within this assignment. But what we can actually do, which makes it really, really good, is if I go back to the very beginning, we'll maybe do this at 5 times speed, I can actually look at how the article came, how this assignment came to be. So this is them literally typing out their assignment. Now remember, I've sped this up a little bit. You can do this as well. And you can see there how they've gone through this. So it's like we've got some typos, they're changing the structure around a little bit. It does look like this student actually did write this essay. Yes, there is some copy pasting, but we'll be able to see those different elements. And this is all within the first session. So we'll probably see that there's going to be a different pattern of writing maybe in the second session, or a gap where they go back. Yeah, they're going to go back up, and they've taken time to readjust things. So they're doing some rewriting here. So they're taking a lot of care to create a really good assignment. So we know that the student is actually trying here. They're not trying to cheat, not intentionally anyway, at this moment in time. But we can see that there are a lot of pasted text moments. So if we go over to here, and then I'll slow it down a little bit to 2 times speed, we'll start to see that they're going to start pasting text into this assignment. So we're capturing all of this information, but nothing more. So we're not capturing, browser activity and all of those kind of things. So here we go. Now we're starting to see there's going to be some big chunks of text dropped into this. So we've had one we just saw earlier. And we're about to have another one in a second, where that is going to be a nice big chunk of paste. There it is again. So we can see they're starting to copy paste quite a few things. Now these look like they're actually sources that they're referencing. So they're actually doing quite a good job in some senses. See again, they're typing away, and now they're going to start copying and pasting in a lot of text. And there's another one, that one does have a citation. So they're using these copy pasted moments. Normally what we would see is just similarity matches. We would see it matching to different systems, to different databases, things like that. Whereas we're actually seeing in real time what the student is doing. And copy pasting is not something that, it doesn't mean they're doing something wrong. But what we could say is, well, actually, it looked like we could see that you wrote a lot of the first half of the paper. Then it seemed like you relied a lot on quotations at the end and in the middle. So could you explain to me why you did that? Why is it that you weren't able to support your own argument? You weren't able to create a lot of this content yourself. So it does give you a much better window into the behavior of the student and the understanding. So you can see here, they're copying in the references, perfectly normal. So after that, what we can then do is we can go in and we can start, looking into how, we can provide feedback to that student. So we can start, giving them feedback on their essay and things like that. On the flip side, if you have a student like this one, where we've got a lot of AI writing in here, we go to the writing report, so there's minimal revision. And if we do the same thing, we'll do 5 times speed. However, the observations, this was only 8 minutes. So we can see this student, we're going to see this one come together a lot quicker. So you can see they're using a template. We can see that they're copying and pasting in a lot of text. They've barely written any of this at all. They're just changing a few words. But if we look at the 2 papers side by side, we would see a lot of copy pasting in the other one, but in a completely different way. And this gives us the opportunity to then go, right, what do we do to help the student? And if we expect a student to use AI, but in this case, all they've done is they've asked it to write the paper for them, then it's a very different use case. The other student used it to create an outline, to get a structure in place to help them actually get started. Whereas this student really just asked it to write the paper and then decided that the system wasn't going to, so they would copy and paste it from elsewhere. Now, those copy and paste from elsewhere could be AI. They could copy and paste from ChatGPT, and we can see that straight away. If you also use our AI detection, you would also see that it had been picked up, that it was AI as well. So you would see all of that, and it all combines in one place. But it just makes the process a lot easier, because then as an instructor, you can then treat students fairly, because then everyone is being, assessed in the same way. And it's a lot more transparent. And one of the great things is that we've heard from students is students feel a lot better about this process, because they don't now have to have like share a Google Doc with you and then share you into, all the prompts that they used and things like that. They can actually show you them directly in here. They don't have to start sharing documents with you. And what we've actually seen is that students will have multiple different versions of a Google Doc. And then if they get asked to share the Google Doc for evidence, they'll choose which one looks the best. So then they'll share that one with you. So it looks different, and they can manipulate, all of the versions and things like that. Whereas with this, they're writing in this environment directly in Blackboard. So there's no ability for them to actually do that. And the great thing is if a student starts their essay and they don't even finish, normally that wouldn't even be a submission. The student just would not submit anything. Whereas with this, you can see that they started their submission, they got stuck somewhere, and you can actually get an understanding of, some things that you may have never seen before, which is really exciting for us as well. Now, I'll pause for a moment because I would love to take some questions. I can imagine you probably have some. And oh yeah, so that's a really good point. So Andrew's just asked that, is the AI chat programmable with rubrics? So what you can actually do is, I didn't show it in here. And to be honest, it's me that creates the demo accounts. So I'm willing to break it a little bit for you. But what I'll do is I will, actually, I'll open up a new window. I will quickly grab some text that I have already written. So I'm going to quickly grab a little bit of text, and I'll show you what you can actually do with the rubric. So attaching a rubric to your assignment obviously is a really, really normal thing to do. So I'm just going to copy this into here. I'm going to get some rubric feedback. So there's a rubric attached. There should be a rubric attached to this. I believe there is. And then I've got another fantastic question from Malcolm as well, which is really, really prevalent actually, because it's something that I had an issue with when I was creating these demo papers. So while this is doing this, there we go. So your rubric and your instructions in the assignment impact what the feedback is from the AI assistant. So the rubric here, what I've done is I've requested feedback on the rubric. So now it's got, okay, so your introduction includes excellent background about coral reefs, but lacks a clear thesis, because there's a thesis element in my rubric. Your evidence needs citations. When you state facts like rising sea temperatures can cause coral reefs, you need to do this, and you need to do it in MLA or APA format, because in the instructions, I said it has to be like that. Structure needs development, conservation solutions missing, you got a strong point. So it's telling them what they need to focus on, but it's not saying you need to do this and you'll get a better grade. It's giving that kind of like guiding feed forward kind of feedback. So that's really, really useful. Just the key point with this is the more descriptive you can be in a rubric, the better, because then it's going to be really, really, really good. Now, the other element, what's to stop student opening another browser with ChatGPT and then transcribing? They don't even need another browser. They could just open it up as another tab if they wanted to. Now, why am I telling you that? So we know for a fact people are going to do that. So there's two things. One, if a student transcribes stuff, from ChatGPT into here, we will pick it up in the AI detection model anyway, as long as it's over 300 words. The other thing is as well, it'll be flagged for minimal revision because transcribing things does not work in the same way as natural writing patterns. So we're looking at those natural writing patterns. And when a student types, they don't do that. They don't just transcribe. You'll notice that in this demo account, nearly every single paper has minimal revision in it. The reason for that is because I used AI to reverse engineer some of our papers that we already had that I actually created a long time ago. And I got it to create multiple versions with spelling errors, everything in there. They're still flagged for minimal revision because I'm transcribing them. Even though, as you saw in that first one, I edited it to death. I changed it as much as I could. It still gets flagged as minimal revision because I'm literally just typing and doing things in a pattern. I'm not doing it in a normal way. So it will get flagged as minimal revision. And also the AI element would pick it up. And these are great questions, by the way. Any other questions from anyone? And feel free to come off mute if you want to. Yeah, yes. Malcolm, name your price. What check would you like in the mail? So it's literally like the questions you're asking are things that we get, like that we literally have solved very, very recently. So I'm going to read this out just in case everybody doesn't have access to the chat. So regarding the AI detection, as Turnitin's detection got better, we've had students who we know cheated and they admitted they cheated, and yet Turnitin didn't pick it up. Yes, it did. So what we did, and I'll cover Jason's question in a second. What we did was we updated the model recently. Now we pushed the date back a couple of weeks. Initially, we were going to launch this at the beginning of August, but then our friends at OpenAI launched GPT-5. So what we did was we did two things. We updated the model. So the model then was able to look at GPT-5 and other new models like Gemini 2.5 and various other ones. So we could detect those new models. That was really important. The other thing we did was we've been working on this for a little while, which is the cheating methods, which are humanizers or I think some people call them bypassers, basically systems that are designed to disguise AI writing. So we launched a update to the model recently, which now picks up those bypasses. And what we noticed, and we literally noticed this because we had clients say to us, look, we've had a student upload this and it's come back as 0%. But we know for a fact they did because we worked with them on it and they told us what they did and they were a bit worried. So they admitted it and we're like, oh, right, okay, that's not good. Hang on a minute. What was it that they did? And it's like, oh, well, one of them used GPT-5 and it only picked up like 22%. And the other student used a humanizer. And we're like, right, okay, we get that. And this was like literally days after GPT-5 launched. So then we ran it through again and both came back at 100% because we updated the model. Now, really important thing to note about the AI model is it's never going to be 100% accurate because there are so many changes to AI that I think we'll all agree it's the fastest rate of change that we've ever seen in technology. So trying to keep pace with that is very, very difficult. And that's why we added in clarity as another element. Now, clarity only works when the student writes in this assignment type. It doesn't work when you upload a document for obvious reasons. We can't track the writing process in a document. So we get them to write in here. It's very easy to do. It's no different than writing in a Google Doc, except they access it through, in your case, Blackboard, and then they're able to do it in there. You can have this open for a long time. So it doesn't have to be an assignment that's only open for a couple of days. This can be open for weeks or months. The student can go in and out of it and write as many times as they like, change things as much as they like. The only thing is you're going to see all those changes, which is the beauty of clarity. No worries, Jason. Thank you very much. Another really good question. Can this be used for multiple draft submissions? So right now, what you would need to do is you would have to create another assignment. Now, this is a good question and a very timely one. This is actually on our roadmap. So we are working on the ability to have multiple assignments. So what you'll be able to do is have like, you've submitted one version and then you've got version 2 and version 3. So you've got like a draft process and you can say, right, there's going to be 3 assignments that are all linked together. So you can have like an iteration. So we're 100% aware of it. We are developing it and we should hopefully have a rough date soon. So we're working on that. And just in case anyone asks as well, we're also working on group submissions. So having the ability to have multiple people in here and be able to identify who answered what. Yeah, super excited about that one because the formative approach of that is going to be absolutely brilliant. It's going to have like a slightly different application, which we're really excited about. So I think it's going to help with with workload a little bit as well, because it just makes the process a lot easier instead of having to get the student to copy and paste their text over the entire time. Any other questions at all from anyone? Okay, aside from questions, what's everyone's kind of thoughts and perspectives on this? Because I've been speaking to a lot of people recently about Clarity, and it's a very different perspective to the usual things that we do at Turnitin. Yes, this is being used now by universities, so people are starting to adopt this. Yeah, and definitely there is no magic bullet solution. I don't think there ever will be now. Maybe a few years ago there could have been a magic bullet solution, but the rate of change is so fast. Like there's going to be another challenge in the next couple of months. We know there's going to be new things coming up. But we also have a product called ExamSoft, which is there. ExamSoft is heavily being used now in the assessment world because they have to make sure in certain circumstances AI cannot be used. So by switching the internet off and having AI proctoring enabled and all of those things. But that doesn't solve every single problem because you've got different types of assignments. So yeah, it's not like a one size fits all approach anymore. That's definitely gone. What we're trying to do is create like a flexible suite of tools that meet the need of instructors kind of where they are. So, whatever you're doing, we're trying to kind of meet that need. In terms of how widely it's being used, we've got adoption in most regions. We have some clients soon to come on board in like South Africa, which is, why do I mention South Africa? Well, South Africa has, load shedding, so the power goes out now and again. If anybody is from South Africa, then you'll know about that. It's not happening quite so much now under new governments, but it does happen, and that means obviously there's no internet. They're relying on tethering to their phones and things like that. So they are even in that area of the world that they're adopting that for this reason of getting that visibility in there. UK, Australia, America, and a number of other places as well where we're seeing adoption. Now, you're thinking to yourself, but you've got 16,000 clients, you're a huge company, why is it not being used any wider than that? Well, it only launched in the back end of July. So most people are now going through that like adoption phase. So most people are coming on board now. So most people have joined because their contracts renew in September or October and they want to just add it to their contract or make an amendment because it's the new semester, especially in the Northern Hemisphere. Then that's why it's kind of coming on board now. But we are seeing a lot of people coming towards Clarity as opposed to other solutions that we offer because it's meeting a lot more instructors where they are. And there's very little change management because it's just a different assignment type. So it's not a huge difference than what they're already doing now.
It seems there are no more questions. Do you have anything more to present?
No, I think the rest of it is very similar to what, after you've been in Clarity and you've gone through the process, The next step after that is to go into the usual reports and feedback. You can see there we've got the AI percentage, but the similarity percentage. So you'll see all of the regular things in there, then able to provide feedback to the students, all of those things. So it's all within the same ecosystem. It's just obviously just added onto, you know, a slightly different assignment type that you just create in basically the same way.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there is a name for this environment. I don't
Feedback
remember.
Studio.
Yes, Feedback Studio. Yes, that's right. So I hope most of the people here are English language faculty, so I hope they are using this Feedback Studio. So this Clarity is a plug-in to the Feedback Studio. Yes,
That's the best way I could describe it.
Yes.
Yeah, like an extension to it. So it's kind of like how Originality is an add-on to Feedback Studio that gives you AI writing and contract cheating detection. Clarity is the other assignment type that comes with, you know, is like an add-on to Feedback Studio that allows you to see that kind of window into the student world and also give them that ability to use the inbuilt AI tool.
Right. So I think we don't have any more questions.
No problem.
So, and this was quite nice, I think, quite to the point. And I hope people were able to see the capabilities of Feedback Studio. So the chairman is here. So you can discuss within the department what do you think about it, and if you think this is something worthwhile to pursue, then Deanship of Academic Development will be happy to facilitate getting this adopted, at least initially at a pilot basis. And so we'll wait. If there are any feedback, we will be happy to get the feedback on what do you think about that. And thank you for Jason to joining. And I think it should be very helpful for everyone to get familiar with this tool in this new environment. Tools like this are coming up, and this seems like quite appropriate for whatever we need. You know, it's very specific to that. So thank you very much, and everyone have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Mohammed Al-Bawab and Jason
Have a
Gibbs.
nice evening.